Hello everybody, Elisa here, and today I'm going to be casting a game of Sorcery and Sublime on their adventures in TV2 ladder. First, we're going to take a look at Sorcery, summarizes the extent of our relationship. Anyway, taking a look at Sorcery and Sublime's ratio right now, they're 1,011 points in 2v2 Diamond, 107 wins, 25 losses, but taking a look at Sorcery's other 2v2 team, 1,131 points, 100 wins, 16 losses. They are above Strife Crow and Axlov, and just absolutely destroying our record. Now they are the rank 1 team in the United States for 2v2 on ladder. Obviously, if you take like 2 pros and make them play 2v2 for a while, they might be able to beat Sorcery and Sublime, or Sorcery and Soy Sauce, sorry. But right now, they are the rank 1 team in the United States. And so Sorcery, a very, very high level team player. Actually, if you look at his let's see, his leagues. There you go. He has almost an 80% win-loss ratio. This is absolutely ridiculous for being in all diamond except for ones, which he doesn't play anyway. So, Sorcery, good friend of mine. So, hope you guys enjoy the cast. Hello everyone, my name is Elisa with 8 E's, and today I'll be casting another 2v2 today on the map Scorched Haven. I just realized I said today twice in the same sentence. Anyway, my good friend Sorcery is playing as random. He's a random player, but he's zerg this game. And his life partner Sublime playing as the red Protoss. And right now they're just doing a little bit of chatting about how well their relationship works together. And Sorcery is saying he makes up for Sublime's lack of mobility, and Sublime provides assault armies. And he'd like to rape his lings with banelings. Baneling 4-gate. And his opponents are Protech as the purple zerg. And Schism, whatever. He is the teal Protoss, and the map is Scorched Haven, by the way. I've already said that. And it's kind of like Twilight Fortress, where if you don't apply early pressure, it's just going to turn into a ridiculous macro game. And when I play Scorched Haven, at least, I like to wall off with Zerg Protoss. But recently, ever since people started Reaper-linging us, it's been kind of more difficult, and Reaper Ling is just where they rush like an 8-Rax Reaper, and they do in 8 pool 6 lings, and it's just extremely hard to stop. And this is in like really high diamond too, and every Terran Zerg team I've played, 80% of the time they do Reaper Ling, and it's usually a proxy Reaper too, which is, I've come to start expecting it, so we don't wall off anymore, but it used to be successful, at least. And anyway, both players right now. Standard pool. Wow, that was a really quick zergling speed actually. So zergling speed done. And right now, purple has 6 lings making and very few drones of the harvester. So it looks like he's going to be doing some extremely early aggression with those initial 6 lings. Sorcery doesn't even have his pool up yet. Holy shit. And never mind, zergling wasn't done. There we go. I think he... Yeah, it was pool being done, my mistake. Alright, so right now, speed is being done. And 6 lings out coming towards Sorcery. Sorcery has his ling speed out as well, but Sorcery has a much better economy. Right now he's doing some weird chatting. I'm not sure what they were looking at right there. But anyway, purple going to be sending his links to Sublime's base, and seeing that there is a zealot, and a lot of newer players like to go ahead and attack those zerglings, but once you do, and if the zerglings get pulled off, then you are in deep trouble when you have zerglings in your mineral line, just because of how slow zealots are to deal with those zerglings. So anyway, still looking at the income, looks like purple is just rallying more zerglings here. He's at 9 harvesters compared to the second lowest, which is Sorcery, at 14 harvesters, so he is just going extremely aggressive early game play right now, and I don't know if this is beneficial just because of how little damage his initial 6 lings did. Looking at his ally Schism, we'll call him the teal Protoss. He's actually completely walled off which probably not the best decision once he does start to decide to get non-gateway units, but maybe I could be wrong. I've never really preferred walling off in 2v2s, just because if they have air units, you can't really get your partner to help you. Now, of course, Zerg isn't going to have Idolist anytime soon, but nonetheless. Probe going there, Sorcery spotting it with his nicely placed Zerglings and excellent spotting skills. Right now, this just looks like a ridiculous low econ Zerg versus Zerg game. Baneling Nest going up for Sorcery, and so this is going to escalate into the most savage of mirror matches. The fabled Zergling Baneling versus Zergling Baneling. And Protech going to be moving in and might catch Sorcery's Banelings off guard. Looks like he might, and he does spot them. And Sorcery is ready for an assault now. Looking at the Zerg players' income, both of them are very low. And it's really interesting how low of an econ game the Zerg players are playing this game, and how high of an econ game the Protoss players are playing each game, because in order for the Zerg to survive, they really just have to produce. They really have to produce off one hatchery, and one hatchery Zergling just leads to terrible, terrible low econ games. So right now, looks like the opponents, Protech and the Teal Protoss, are pushing out right now, and this is just the epic ballroom dance of Banelings trying to surround Zerglings. Sublime finally moving in with his army, taking a look at the army tabs right now. Sorcery is at 30. Oh god, who the fuck would text me? Anyway, Schism or Schism, I don't know. The Teal Protoss. It looks like Protech's Zerglings just bypassed the Banelings and Zerglings of Sorcery, and it looks like he's just going to be going straight for Sorcery's mineral line, but it looks like Sublime is able to repel that, and right now Sorcery is going to be running his 4 Banelings into the mineral line of Protech. Protech really unprepared for this, and not even pulling off his drones right now. Really late pull off, and wow, didn't pull off his drones at all until the last second. Protech right now has 2 drones. 2 drones, ladies and gentlemen. Now he is at 0 drones, 0 queens, and all he has left are these Zerglings that are being made, and more Zerglings at his base. So looking at the income right now, Protech is at 0 drones, 0 queens, so this is his entire army for the moment, at least for a very long time. But the army sizes of the Teal Protoss and the Protech player is just much bigger than Sublime's and Sorcery's army right now. So Sublime and Sorcery are forced to pull back, and with this number of Zerglings, you can't really run away from. You can't really run away without engaging, and so it does look like the Teal Protoss and the Purple Zerg will be slowly picking away at these leftover units of Sublime, and it looks like Sorcery's Overlord is getting caught a little bit out of position right now. The Purple Zerg does have four drones back, so he is trying to get his economy back, but he's still rallying more lings. So you can just clearly see the high-level diamond games of Zerg Protoss versus Zerg Protech, just how economically deprived the Zerg player is, and I think this is a necessity just to remain aggressive early game, just because of how easy it is for Zerg players to destroy other Zerg players. And so Teal Protoss right now, 30 Harvesters. Sorcery, no, Sublime right now at 24 Harvesters, doing a great force field right there, but now these 2 players' military units are forced to attack the vulnerable and weak Sorcery. He has no Spine Crawlers, just a Queen, a few Spine Crawlers, and a small handful of Zerglings to defend against this, and things are looking fairly grim for Sorcery right now. Sublime kind of handicapped himself by putting down a force field at his own ramp, going to make it more difficult for Sublime to come and help, and right now Sublime slowly getting there, but Sorcery right now in a terrible, terrible position. He has... What is the Zealot doing? He has just literally nothing left to defend except these 10 drones, and so it does look like Sublime will be able to clean up this remaining stalker force quite readily, but this has bought Protech enough time to actually build up back in his base, and Protech did a little bit of a cheeky run by, but Sublime did warp in a few Zealots to repel it. So all in all right now, both Zerg players are fairly even. Sorcery is going to be ahead a little bit on the tech just because of that layer he's getting and this large amount of gas he has been getting from the extractor. And so I think he did pull off the gas from the extractor, which is a good idea, since he is stockpiling gas. And because this is such a low economy game, Mutalisks really aren't an option, considering of how weak they are just compared to stalkers and just compared to the low numbers of mutalist 2 stalkers that they can actually get. So it does look like Sorcery will be trying to go for a little bit of run by. Protech's Overlord does come to scout this, and Protech really not responding very well, letting Sorcery's units really walk past him. And so it looks like Sorcery will be going in to just start picking up as many drones as he can. Taking a look at the unit sauce right now, Schism. Teal Protoss does have the most amount of unit sauce, but he also does have the best economy. And it looks like Sublime will be moving out, but Schism, mirroring this move out, will be moving back. And right now Sublime is going to be caught a little bit out of position because his units are just going to be kind of sandwiched between Protech and Schism's Source, and he unfortunately did not have a sentry there. But if the Teal Protoss player did have a sentry, he could have just moved up into Sorcery's base, force fielded the ramp, and that would have been all she said. Layer would have been gone. But right now, Protech did move all his units into Sorcery's base. Sorcery having very, very few zerglings to defend against it, having lost all his drones, and just managed to barely scrape by with a single baneling that he did make. And right now, though, Sublime is in a similar position to Schism, in which his Zerg opponent ally did not have any harvesters left. So looking at the income right now, Sorcery has no harvesters left. I think a few harvesters in the making right now, 3 harvesters in the making, and just very, very, very economically crippled.